Hey YouTube, what's up? It's Spawny here again. So a lot of you probably noticed I've just been uploading Yugioh Pro stuff, just random duels that I had. But today I believe on my last video I said I was going to bring you guys Satellarknight Deck profile, so that's what I'm going to do today. Wanted to get it done before the weekend was over and time becomes crunched again, so I really like this deck. It's been performing well. I don't know if I'm going to continue playing it just because the Necros matchup isn't amazing. It's not really bad. It just depends on like if you open well. But yeah. So without further ado, obviously 3 Denebs because we have to play 3 of our searcher. And then his favorite friend, 3 Altair. Use your Wolf Bark, he brings back Deneb, and then you proceed to search. 2 and a cow high. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I don't like 3. A lot of people I see like 3 of him. But I feel like 3 can be too many, and I don't like. I feel like I can always search him with Deneb if I need to, so I feel like 2 is fine. With triple Rota and triple Deneb and dualities and call haunteds and stuff, like if you need to get something engraved, it's not that much of a problem, and I haven't really had a problem with that, so 2 is fine. 2 Vega. Vega is, a lot of people just play 1. Or I've seen some people just play 1, and I don't understand the reasoning behind that. Like Vega's, he's a 1-card trigger with Altair, or any Deltaros trigger, anything like that. And sometimes, like, even if you open him turn 1 with a Deneb, you can go Vega, Deneb, search Altair, and then make a rank 4 of your choice. So I think double Vega is definitely what you should be playing. And Cyrus, this is one thing I haven't seen a lot of people playing, and again I don't understand why. A lot of people play Diagusto Emerald in the extra deck. Like this frees up a spot in your extra deck. It's another monster you have. And does the exact same thing, so it shuffles back all of your resources, not just some. Yes, it's dead early game, but you can always like summon it up, and you can always just summon it, and then it's like there is to either attack with or make a rank 4 out of it. So it's good. Triple Rota, because God, I don't even need to explain that. Triple MST. Because Cliffort's a thing. Cliffort's your worst matchup. It's worse than Necros just because skill drain really hurts this deck, so you have to play 3 MSTs. Double duality. This is a controversial card right now. I kind of opening these is really good. And the reason that, some people are like, well, this is dead late game. I argue that it's not, because there's a lot of times I'll find a needed duality for back row. This deck's really dependent on back row, and if you don't have back row, it kind of hurts. So being able to duality into back row late game is still really good, because you can just like, summon, like for instance, we'll say summon a Deneb, search an Altair. May actually be what happens, but something like that, or like summoning a cow high, dump a Deneb, and then duality for some back row. Because this deck has to back row, and like a lot of times this is what gets you to back row late game when you don't have it. Regeki, because board wipes because this card's really good, and Necros are deck, and board wipes is what kills them, as you'll see I've stocked up on board wipes later. And Snatch Steal, because the card's retarded. Everyone knows how I feel about this card. If you saw my Evil Storm deck profile, you'll know how I feel about this card. Traps. Triple Alpha. I saw a lot of people like took on the Jeff Jones hype of not playing this card, but this card's just too essential to me. It's essentially I almost want to say it's like, it's not a Solemn Judgment, but at the same time it kind of is. And it's a Solemn Judgment that themes, because if you open this in Deneb, turn 1, like, it gets the Deneb in the grave for you, and plus you draw cards, so it's basically a +1. Because you get your Deneb in grave, and you draw a card, and then Deneb's gonna come back next turn, obviously, because by that point you're gonna have an Altair in hand. So it's a +1 in almost every way possible. In essence, it could almost be a +2 because you're drawing a card and then searching up the Deneb next turn, which this card allowed you to get the Deneb in grave. That may not be exactly correct, but you know what? Fuck it. So yeah. 3 of that. Triple Call the Haunted. This card's all around amazing, especially with Trigger, because this like becomes dead on board, and then Trigger just blows everything back, and so then you reset your Call the Haunted. Triple Emptiness, because Floodgates and Board Wipes are how you beat Necros. Plus, this card's not bad against Clifford; it stops him for a turn. So yeah, this is why you play Triple Emptiness, because I said in my Evil Storm deck profile that like 2 is what I like, but I think now that Necros deck you have to play 3, just because this essentially makes them go -1 when it's chained to their mirror, to their ritual spell. It essentially makes them go -1. Double Oasis, because it's a defensive Call to Haunted, so same principle because Trevor. Double Fiendish Chain. I'm probably going to end up bumping this to triple. There's another card I'm testing over the 3rd one, but this may become a 3rd Fiendish Chain. The reason that this wasn't a 3rd Fiendish Chain originally is because I only have 2 right now. I have a playset of supers in the mail, but they aren't here yet. So, but for now, Double Fiendish Chain. It's really, really good. So, again, Trigger blows all your continuous dead traps back, etc., etc. This card, Double Mirror Force. I'm talking about this card for a minute. Clifford loses this card. Necros loses the Board Wipes. This is a Board Wipe. This card is very, very viable again, because Clifford is the 2nd best deck of the format right now, and Necros is the best deck. This card absolutely just gives both decks a really bad time. If Clifford can't pop this before they go ahead and swing, they're going to have a bad time, and especially with 4 or 5, especially this deck's going to have at least 3 back rows at it mostly every time. The chances of them hitting this are 1 in 3, if not 1 in 4, or even 1 in 5. Probably I'd say 1 in 3 and 1 in 4 is probably the best. So the odds are in your favor, them not hitting this off their Helix pop. Plus, I've also adjusted my deck because the Clifford matchup is just really shitty, and it was in testing. I've adjusted the main deck to make it a little bit better and more in my favor with the next card that's coming up. But all in all, this card is very, very viable again, and I think playing 2 is really good for just about any deck. Even in Shadal, I've considered going back to a back row build just because of how many traps have become viable just because of the meta change. This card, Double Dust Tornado. Yes, this is controversial. I believe 2 is controversial, I believe 1 is definitely needed, but I do believe 2 is controversial. I'm testing the second one. They're completely dead against Necros as well as MST, so I definitely am siding out. But again, these are easy side outs against them, and against everything else they're really good. You know, End Phase Dust Tornado, the Fire Lake, End Phase Dust Tornado, or you know, Chain Dust Tornado, the Tool, or Scout. I still call it Tool because it's easier to say. But all in all, it's still really, really strong, and it's an easy side out versus Necros, so you don't have to like side out other cards that you maybe wouldn't want to side out, or like that are halfway useful, whereas this is completely dead. I mean, because they don't really side into any traps, they maybe side into like Shadow Mirror, for burning abyss or whatever. But yeah. So this improves your Cliff Fort matchup because it's more things you can have to hit the skill drain and even, you know, kill the tool. And make them, you know, pay 800 life points for nothing, because that's pretty good in my opinion. So I'm testing it out. I might cut it back to 1, but for now, we're seeing how 2 goes. Bottomless, because this hits everything, and this gives Cliff Forts a really bad day. You know, they go pendulum for 3, you're like, oh, bottomless, and then, you know, they go minus, and then they just lost everything, and plus they don't go back to pendulum zone, they just go die in a banish zone. Plus this hits a lot of things in macros and stuff, and they go, and also, like, if, you know, Burning Abyss goes summon Virgil, you're like bottomless, or they, like, summon Seer, you go bottomless the Seer, so, all in a bad card. And then Torrential, this is what I'm trying over the 13 chain. It's another board wipe, and honestly, I feel like this deck can really bounce back from board wipes, because you have Altairs and Call the Haunteds out the ass, but this deck really can bounce back a lot better than other decks. So that's the main deck. I'm going to go through the extra deck a little bit faster. I'm going to go through the extra deck kind of quick because I'm already at 11 minutes. So, Cowboy, Dweller, Tsukiyomi, because it's not a bad turn 1 play, Saitan, Castel, Excalibur because he gets over towers, Gandiva because it's pretty good. I like it a lot. I make this one and there's nothing else to make, so it's just like a good backup card. 101, Omega, I actually make this a lot, I like it. Ragna Zero because fuck Cliff Fort. Rebellion Dragon because it's a free 2500 damage. The Double Trigger because you have to, this card's insane. Deltaros because popping stuff, and then Diamond because fuck shit all, fuck Burning Abyss, I win. This card literally says no. Side deck. Double Flying Sea, because Burning Abyss is still a thing, and Evil Swarm is rogue right now. So, an Evil Swarm, honestly, like, I feel like if people are starting to realize how much potential that deck has in this meta right now, because this is literally the only deck that Ophion doesn't affect. It affects Diamond, but that's literally one card in the entire deck that it affects. So, double Artifact Lacia because we don't want to get trashed, and this kind of stops that. Thunder King because Necros can't search, Cliff Fort can't search. I can't search, but it's a 1900 beater, so, and then, yeah. Triple Spell Shattering Arrow, as well as triple Fairy Wind, because as I said, you have a really bad Cliff Fort matchup, and just making it so you have as many outs so they can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Is really, really good. This is beneficial. Like, if you're playing Stellarknights right now, you have to side this, in my opinion, because you have to make it so your Cliff Fort matchup is going to be as good as you can game 2 and 3. Double Anti-Spell Fragrance. It was this, I argued this versus Master Restrict for a little while, but in the end I decided this was better, because they can just, you know, cycle from grave, or they can just, like, go and use all their stuff from grave. Or they can just, you know, banish from grave to ritual summon, so that way they're never really even having to tribute. And stuff, so I decided this was better, because this at least stops them for a turn, and it's not bad versus Cliff Fort. And then 2 Shadow Mirrors, because Burning Abyss is still a deck and Shadal's rogue, so I don't really worry about Shadal that much, because a lot of them will stop playing Denko Sekka, or if they are, they're only playing 1 now. I'm only playing 1. I've stopped playing Shadal for a little bit, but I'm probably going to go back to it once Water Dude's out. But yeah, so this card's really, really good versus Shadal, and it's good versus Burning Abyss too, which is still a relevant deck. They're going to go back to playing back row too, just because that's how they have to play to beat Necros. As we saw at Tacoma, that deck kind of got wiped. But yeah, so this has been my Satellarknight deck profile, and you know, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thumbs up, don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. See ya.